welcome and welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Got a pretty good show for you here today. Going to talk some Giannis and some surprising words, disrespect from Mr. Nice Guy. And before we get to that, you know what time it is. If you haven't already and you're here on YouTube, go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, and that notification bell so you can be up to date whenever we drop new content. If you're looking for the audio-only version of the podcast, we're available anywhere audio podcasts are. Just open your podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in the Format Podcast, and give us a little search. We should come right up. All right. Make sure you share the podcast with other sports fans who you know might want to hear a different voice and a different take on things than kind of what you hear regurgitated all over the sports media for the most part. Helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Oh, and don't forget to give us that 5-star review. All right, let's get right to it. So I called Giannis Mr. Nice Guy in my intro. And why do I do that? Because he is a nice guy. Very calm, very respectful, very humble, just hardworking. You know, tells corny dad jokes in the post-game pressers, which I think that's pretty cool. Being a dad myself, but you know, just a nice kind of guy. Different than what we see from a lot of NBA superstars, right? And he the other day put out a post, which is on Twitter, and it's got a picture of him looking like he's in deep concentration. Probably looks like maybe a pregame intro or something like that. And the verbiage on the post was kind of surprising coming from him. It said, quote, "I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm coming," unquote. And so there was no explanation for that. There was no link to it. And before I talk a little bit about this in particular, I got to say, this whole cryptic tweet thing that NBA players are doing, and athletes on the whole, I guess, is so annoying. Now, I'm wondering if it's something that was specifically designed to get people thinking and get people talking about them and talking about whatever the situation is that they're in. It could be, but in general, I'm just tired of it, man. I mean, I'm an older guy. I'm 44 years old. If you got something to say what you got to say, right? You're a grown man. Say what you got to say. Let everybody know what it is. Because you don't say what you got to say, you make a cryptic tweet, then people misinterpret maybe the meaning of your tweet, and then you're going to get upset. Not saying that specifically about Giannis, but we've seen that about other athletes who make these cryptic tweets, right? And it really annoys me. So just say what you got to say, and then you never have to get upset at anybody for misquoting you or misinterpreting what you said. So anyway, he says, "I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm coming." So when I first heard about this, and then I looked it up and I saw it, I'm thinking, what does he mean he's tired of the disrespect? Because I know there's different types of disrespect that takes place with Giannis, right? There's a disrespect that comes because he's an immigrant in America, right? There's just that. A lot of people are going to be disrespectful towards that. There's the disrespect that comes with people, again, in America who refuse to even learn how to say the guy's name properly, right? There's that. I know people who literally nicknamed him the gyro because that's just an easier thing to say. And of course, you know, a gyro, or properly pronounced gyro, is, you know, a Greek delicacy, right? It's a very common Greek thing here in America. So it could be that. It could be the fact that maybe there are a lot of people who still, despite the amount of work he's put in and the amount of effort he has made to make himself one of the best players in the world, still don't regard him as such because his game may not be as aesthetically pleasing as some other people, right? So all those could be what he's referring to when it comes to disrespect. But apparently what's being speculated on is the fact that after making All-NBA defensive first team for the last 4 years straight, this year, he did not make the All-NBA defensive first or second teams, which is odd, right? This guy's a former defensive player of the year. He won that award in 2019, 2020. And as I mentioned, recently, he's been a fixture on the NBA all-defensive teams, right? He's a guy that definitely doesn't shirk his effort on that side of the floor. Now, in fairness, if you look at his stats, you'll see in terms of the counting stats, like his steals are down, his blocks per game are down. These are key defensive metrics. This past season, he led the league and didn't lead the league in scoring, but he had his best scoring season, averaging just over 31 a game, and he had his third best rebounding season. So rebounding is a key component of defense. He doesn't slack there. Giannis is a dude that does not lack for effort, whether it's on offense or on defense. He's a legitimate, one of the best two-way players in this league. So I kind of get, if that's the reasoning behind this tweet, why he would be upset about it, right? The quote unquote disrespect. And so now he says, "I'm coming." So is that a function, when he says "I'm coming," is that a function of what he feels as a slight of his efforts on defense? Is it a function of now you're hearing some people say, is he still the best player in the world because his team got upset in the first round of the playoffs and their coach got fired after having the best regular season record in the league and after him coming in third on most people's MVP ballots? Is it disrespect because he was only sixth in the Defensive Player of the Year award voting? I don't know. I don't know because, again, he puts the tweet out, cryptic tweet. I'm going to keep saying that because it really annoys me. It's like a pet peeve. I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm coming. Well, I would love to be one of the reporters in a press conference with him because I specifically would ask him, hey, Giannis, we saw your tweet. You're tired of disrespect. Would you elaborate on what you mean when you say disrespect? Who do you feel is disrespecting you? How do you feel you're being disrespected, right? I would really try to pull that out of him and get that information. So I would love to know. But yeah, the fact that, okay, he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year. You're not going to get those awards every year, and that's fine. But the question for me is, why would he not have made either first or second team? That to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, being that we know he is one of the best defensive players in the league. Like when you heard people breaking down their MVP ballots, one of the reasons that some people put him ahead of Jokic is that he's a far superior defender, even though, of course, the analytics will tell you that Jokic is an outstanding defender. But if you watch him as a man defender, I mean, just terrible. But anyway, the Bucks were one of the best defensive teams in the league, and Giannis is one of the best defensive players in the league. Now, with that said, I just gave this a little bit of thought. Two players from his team, Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez, both made first-team All-NBA, right? Defense, first-team All-NBA defense. So maybe the voters kind of got sidetracked with that and said, well, maybe we don't want three guys from the same team making the all-defensive team, which I don't think that should be a criteria. Like if all three guys earn it, then put those guys on there, right? I don't think it should be a function of, you're going to have too many guys from one team. But to me, that speaks more about the defensive culture that's in place in Milwaukee, right? If you've got two players that were on the team and a third one that deserved to be but just got snubbed, right? But see, this is a regular season award, so now you may think, well, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. How good could they be defensively? But that has nothing to do with it, or it shouldn't, right? It's a regular season award. So I really don't know. I really don't know. But I would be very, very interested to know, who Giannis says is disrespecting him, what he says the disrespect is, and how he plans to, quote unquote, come next season, right? So definitely looking forward to hearing that. And so what I want to know from you, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Giannis should feel disrespected? Do you think the defensive team snub is why he's feeling disrespected? If not, what do you think his reason is? And what do you think he should do about it? All right, leave those comments in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing those. And I'll be back with the next episode. And I'm out. Peace.